What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning into this stream, which is going to be the stream of the United States versus the Taiwan match. I am Silo Escaels, joined by my fellow commentator, Shu. Say hello there, please.
Hello, how are you on this fine day?
Doing alright myself. I hope you are as well.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, got some pretty hype match. USA versus Taiwan. Last week, Taiwan beat Spain 5-0. So you know that they can take on, probably take on someone like the US, especially if the US hasn't been doing so well last week. They did win 5-0, but they didn't do as well as our top seeds. So that's something to consider.
I mean, to be fair, their opponent at the time was Panama, which was the 32nd seed, so it's understandable why the US swept that match 5-0 regardless. Meanwhile, Taiwan, I assume is either seed 16 or 17. I'm just not sure which one.
Taiwan was seed 17. They lost to Spain, they won 5-0 to Spain, which is seed 16. And we actually had like something similar happen in this previous match, Canada versus Brazil. Canada was the 8th seed, Brazil was the 9th seed, yet Brazil won Canada 5-0.
I see. Honestly, like, gaps like that on such a close seeding is pretty rare to see, if you would agree with that.
And even the structure of the qualifiers this year, they're like, I think like round of 16 is a little early to test a lot of things that would have appeared in the qualifiers. And you can also play the qualifiers twice, and in a tournament you can only play once. So the qualifiers don't really tell you about nerves.
That is true. I'm not necessarily sure what or how the match went. I meant Canada versus Brazil, but I feel like it was actually not the 5-0 if you were to look at the whole context. I was assuming at least that it was a close act battle, but chokes probably happened on the Canadian side. Though, again, as I said, I'm not entirely sure how that went.
Yeah, there were chokes on both sides, but I think Canada was overall less consistent. It nerves, some mix of nerves and inconsistency. That's regular tournament things.
Yeah, nerves are indeed a huge factor in tournaments. You may be able to do very well in practice, but if you cannot translate that to the actual tournament match, then there's not that much to say really. You just have to push through regardless of the chokes that can happen.
Oh yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, if you're really anxious like me, then in a tournament, like in the hours leading up to the tournament, like, you just get really nervous and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? How do I pick stuff? Team tournaments, I mean, like, some of the weight is not on you because you're playing with two other teammates, but you still get nervous regardless.
That is true. Like, at least for me, the statistics don't really tell the whole thing. The intangibles, like what you mentioned, anxieties, the nervousness, those factors matter so much in a tournament setting that the numbers doesn't necessarily mention at all.
Yeah, the numbers kind of lie. They don't tell you about tournament performances, especially for playing through qualifiers twice.
Indeed. In the tournament, you don't get two chances. You only get one per map.
If a commentator makes differences only from the seedings, that's a sign that you should not listen to that commentator.
Exactly. I mean, in a match, you're not supposed to be watching it. Like, I recommend you don't, because the nerves will really kick in. That's a mistake that I personally had to learn in MWC 2020.
Well, okay, yeah. Okay, well, seedings tell you something, so, I mean, don't disregard what the commentator says, but, like, just keep seedings in perspective and just know that it gets kind of random during tournament matches. And the matches we've seen, like a lot of them have gone to tiebreakers, and maybe Taiwan might just put up a crazy act battle because they've got, as far as I know, their early game, their SVs are really good, and that's not just from looking at the seedings. That's just something that I know that Taiwan might do, just because they're Taiwan. That's this area.
Honestly, well, the thing about seeding is how I see it is like the main reason why seedings matter is because you really want to avoid facing the tough opponents as early as possible. And that's of course the main reason why those in the lower seedings get eliminated or at least sent to the losers bracket very early on.
Yeah, I mean, like seedings exist because of skill level and whatever, and yeah.
Unfortunately, we will not be able to see Seth playing. I believe that's a client issue again. Though I was expecting this to be a very short map because Soren Bushi in general is not even that long of a map, and we're just gonna see Seth loading in. So, given that this is the matchup, do you have like anything to keep mind for both teams?
Um, yeah, I would say like U.S. and Taiwan are kind of opposites. U.S. has good late game, and Taiwan is tends to focus more on the early game. So, like, it's a bit hard to say how the teams will do. I mean, the U.S. definitely has a strong early game as well, but it seems like they do suffer from some nerves that might just be lower from Taiwan. So it's just like really hard to tell.
I see. What would be the forte of each team? Like, what is the specialty of Taiwan and the specialty of the United States?
Um, I could tell you that Taiwan is good at like early game, and Taiwan is good at SV. But I mean, so is the U.S. So I would say like the primary advantage that Taiwan might have over the U.S. is early game nerves, or not early game nerves, just nerves, and that could be a factor in a point or two or more. But yes.
To be fair, we are at a point where the physicality factor is not going to affect too much. But I believe starting quarterfinals, that's where I expect some teams to fall off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think teams will fall off in quarters. I think you'll have to wait until finals for teams to actually like start falling off. And then hopefully then we won't like try to screw teams over that much. I mean, we definitely won't be lenient on them. It's all in the name of making balanced map. That's the way it goes.
That is true. Well, right now we're just seeing these players like play this casually, like SVs thrown into the mix. Not really a big issue. It's just warm-ups. Though, which team would you say is like more balanced? Well, actually, I should retract that question because the US is definitely more balanced because they are the higher seed. But
Retina and Clarion both have really good early game accuracy. Seth less so. I mean, so Seth is more of a later game player. In Taiwan, you have P Dog for me, and you have two. Then you have Black T 12, and you, so those are all like really well-rounded players, at least in early game.
I guess that's true. But we will have Tuzi in Taiwan, who's a really good ACK player. I would argue that he's someone that the United States should keep an eye on. And another one to keep an eye on is Joy Lin TP. He or they rather, I'm not really sure, but they did really well in MWC. They had a good performance against the Philippines in hybrid picks. I'm not so sure if they played the Rise, but it was very impressive to me at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah. So you do have like some players from Taiwan who played in MWC, and like I guess one player who did like sign up but eventually chose not to play was Reru, and you saw that Reru had really good like accuracy in group stages. So like I'm expecting similar things from the rest of the Taiwanese team.
I'm pretty sure if Vairu or Reru was in this team, their seeding would be a little bit, if not a lot higher. If like you saw their performance in MWC, it was really good.
I mean, you also saw their performance against Spain. Like they're
Spa-
only one seed apart. Taiwan
yeah,
dusted them.
yeah, that is true. So I believe this is the second warm up. I think the US is actually gonna go serious on this one. This map is no meme at all. I believe the base rate of this was in soft.
The base rate of it was cut and then put in soft. That's right.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. This was the hybrid, right?
Yes.
And it's on group stage or
Group
playoff.
stages. Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is actually one of the maps I didn't touch, so I can't really tell. But wow, taking seriously on warm-ups is it's kind of rare now that I think about it. But I like it when teams do take warm-up seriously.
I mean, I don't think they're taking it seriously. I think it's just a good song. I think it's a good song to play, and it's a banger. And you want to get into that good groove. And what better good groove than Veil of Maya?
Yeah, Veil of Maya is indeed a really good. Are they a band? Is it a band or a single person? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think one person is like simultaneously singing and playing the guitars and drums. Unless your name is Austin Jones, we don't fucking talk about Austin Jones.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I just realized. Oh, imagine one player playing the drums, playing the guitar, playing every instrument, and then singing. That would be like insane. Though, I think we're just waiting for them to be ready because they have the map now, I think. So here we go.
Yes, let's go. Uh, okay.
And of course, client. I hope the client is actually gonna do his job right now.
Your mom. Okay, so this is 4M4 semifinals, and we're gonna be seeing the US choose Casa 1.1. So this is the Rice hybrid of semifinals, and looks like Taiwan has a pretty sizable lead from start.
I'm pretty sure that's how the song goes.
I have heard the song too many times. I think this chart is a banger.
Well, we're just waiting for them to like finish. So now that warm-ups have started, well at least about to end, I mean, do you have like any idea what team should ban? Or at least like what skill set should they avoid?
Um, I actually don't know. Um, this might just try to ban something that's It's like the US is kind of a weird team. Like, I mean, the obvious ban is going to be something that induces nerves, like Lexus Cyanixis or Del Rio. But you know,
I mean, you saw that collapse yesterday by the Philippines on Del Rio. I can see why.
I mean, Del Rio does have some pretty tricky transitions, and they can cause phenomena like the triple miss that you saw yesterday.
That is true.
Definitely risky. And on the other hand, we did see Brazil start off with Del Rio, and they won handedly against Canada. So it really is a bit of a wild card.
This is really difficult for the M standards, honestly. Like you can see right now, I don't think anyone's holding a 99. I just noticed that 2Z is almost holding it.
Oh yeah, I don't think players are taking this too seriously. I mean, it's a warm up. Like, yeah. And you're just like, oh yeah, here's some maps, here's some forms, here's some hybrids, here's the rice hybrid for the tournament. It's gonna be Mikasa 1.1. Thank you very much. Um, yeah. So US taking a point. We were low on maps, so we did end up using Mikasa again. This time 1.1. So very unfortunate.
That is true. I love how there's 199, but that's not even the highest score in the lobby. Combo game.
Oh yeah, because Seth is the common person. Wow, GG. Very funny.
Well, let's go to the roles now.
Um. Okay, let's go. USA versus Taiwan. Let's go. And okay, Taiwan gets they would have gotten 100, but
That's
they
such a
got
good roll.
98. The other amount was spent on making add fun out of a username because truth means funny in Chinese.
Wow, I see.
Yeah,
But wait, did the US roll yet, or I didn't catch it?
USA didn't roll yet, but you know,
Imagine if the US rolls a 98. Oh, 93! That's... Imagine losing a roll with a 93.
yeah, he would have lost for any of those rolls.
That's
Funny.
kind of sad. That's kind of sad. Like, imagine getting all those rolls and it still loses.
Yeah. But anyways, Taiwan is gonna win, so they're gonna open up and okay, the US is gonna ban first, actually, and then Taiwan's gonna open up. Um,
I'm not really sure what the US should ban here. This is one of those
US,
match.
Taiwan mistakenly banned first, but I guess like US might have tried to ban something different.
Oh no, that is not so good. The
But okay,
Taiwan.
so Taiwan, USA bans Tokyo Ghetto, and I still think Taiwan will likely ban Silk Extreme. I don't think anything will change. But yeah.
I like this ban from the US, I think. Let me actually go dig through their round of 32 scores on some of the elements.
Yeah, I really think the US is a little more late game oriented when it comes to LNs, or at least mid game.
Okay, well, they played one LN map, which was Saika, and Taiwan actually has an advantage on that against the US.
Yeah, well, that's because the US wasn't trying hard because they were going up against. Well,
I mean, regardless, if
I
you
don't
were the
know.
Taiwanese, I mean, regardless, if you were the Taiwanese team, that's one thing that you're definitely going to take note of. Taiwan getting a 2965 while US getting a 2947. That's a pretty sizable gap.
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, yeah, that could be a weakness in the US, especially in the early game. And Taiwan's gonna go out with uh, Tokyo Ghetto, except it's banned because. Oops.
So they were going for LN1, but they
Okay,
didn't
they're
really
going
listen to
for
us, man.
Masquerade. Okay, reasonable.
Yeah, they didn't go. They were supposed to go for LN1, but instead they went for LN3. I guess I can see why. Um, Masquerade might be advantageous for Taiwan now that I think about it.
I mean, it depends on like. We'll just have to see because like the U.S. might just run away with this, but you know, I can also see a scenario where Taiwan has that Ellen skill set at least in the early game, and then they just like win against the U.S. or something. So I don't know, nerves,
Yeah,
mate.
at this point, this is not one of those matches where you could just think that, oh, this is an easy match. Let's just not do our best so that the next opponent is going to find it easy to beat, even though it's not. But I don't think you should be doing that against Taiwan.
Yeah, I'd actually say a comparable match would be MWC 2021, round of 16, USA versus France. France was not joking on the Ellens. They took some really solid points against the US, and they would have almost gotten a fourth point out of six had they not lost on whatever map. But I would say that this situation is like really similar.
That was Shaka Shane. That was Shaka Shane.
Shaq Shane. Yeah,
I
that
could
was.
I could see why France would have taken that. Like I also understand the sentiment that the USA could have beaten them on Ellens because the first pick that France went with was paintings, and of course France lost that. But they went on to lose the next two Ellen picks, which the French just dominated.
Yeah, France was really, really good at that stage, and apparently, Stay High Kids is going somewhere. It looks like he's getting his enema or something. Preparing his arse for this game. Yeah, so Masquerade, it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. Be very cool, very swag, very awesome. I like it.
I believe the US is asking for a timeout. Is well, I mean, I don't see why that's a problem, to be honest.
Yeah, it's honestly it's fine. Like take your timeouts whenever they exist for reasons. But yeah, Seth, Imperial Trendy, Stay High Kids. That's gonna be your roster for now.
So I believe they already used up the only timeout that they had. I don't like that. I don't like using up a timeout this early, but I think if it's needed, then it's fine.
Yeah, and anyway, I'm just really excited to see what happens in this match. Okay, so things are starting off pretty evenly. There's not really too much of note. Say might have a very slight lead, but it's gonna start to really be decided on these LNs, and it
Yeah,
looks like oh,
the difference right now is all Stay High Kids. If you look at like Stay High Kids 99.88, that is so much better compared to the rest of the Taiwanese team. But the lead is going to the US.
yeah, Stay High Kids accuracy is really, really good right now. So that I believe is along with Nino taking a couple of 200s. I think that's what is giving the US the lead right now. So this is looking very good for the US right now. Looks like yeah.
Yeah, Nano's 99.1 is definitely not gonna help the Taiwanese team. Oh, but Seth
there's a
misses
miss from
as they
Seth.
say that.
Okay, so this is going to benefit Taiwan.
This is
This
gonna
might cancel out NATO's accuracy disadvantage.
That is true. We will have to see. We'll have to wait and see for Seth to go back to the combo cap though. A single miss from the Taiwanese team will switch it back to the US, and the US will have a much bigger lead at that point.
Was that a client drop? No, actually, the US is just gaining back its accuracy.
Yeah, but
Um,
it is going back to the Taiwanese team because Seth's act is back to the 99.5s. But Joylin
oh, there's
T,
Jordan misses. Oh no, that's not good.
we would they would need to hope for a break or two from the US team to secure a point. But unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, looks like this is the US's point. If they can maintain their composure, there doesn't seem to be enough real estate. So, yeah, that's a break point from the United States.
Very unfortunate way to lose out on, lose out a chance on winning.
Yeah, and like even all things considered, like even if you just look at the accuracies, the US is marginally better than Taiwan, if not like very if not blowing Taiwan out of the water. Again, like Taiwan has pretty solid early game and possibly even mid game. But okay, it's the United States' turn to pick, and I think they will probably go for something like absolute zero or made. Those are really straightforward.
Honestly, if it wasn't banned, I would have thought the US could have picked something like Sil Simics team, but it makes sense why Taiwan banned it. Because you definitely want to avoid a pick like that.
I mean, I'm more surprised that they didn't ban Lexus Cyanixis. I mean, Lexus has been shown to be the map that the picks the teams kind of avoid, but US is going for Metastasis SV1.
Well, the US is the number one seed for SV after all. So I'm not surprised.
Right,
I think we'll be seeing Combro in here.
yeah, so Metastasis, what do you say about this map? Mostly reoriented. There's a couple of memorization gimmicks in the second hold. Yeah, and if the US has practiced this enough, then you can expect the US to completely destroy this. Not that Taiwan is any slouch to SVs either. I think they're just like generally really good at these sort of anti-meta skill sets like SV and LM. So
I mean, 2Z is a tank at the SVs for the Taiwan team. So that's something that the US might want to be careful of. But at the same time, they do have full Combro who I think can match 2Z's ratio.
yeah, I mean like having looked at like the US is good at SV. So is Taiwan. So it's gonna be close.
That is true. I mean, to be fair, the differences so far in like most of the matches haven't really been that huge.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense since it's this early game and not really many people are falling off right now. So the differences are minuscule right now.
Wow,
But
look at the US team 99, 97, 95. Okay, okay. How?
yeah, I mean, like the rhythms in the beginning weren't. They were pretty basic. So I think what will be more impressive is if the US has these scores at the end. That being said, US does have a little bit of a lead thanks to he go for knee, taking a little bit of an F drop. So let's see if the US can maintain their accuracy. advantage. And it's worth noting that in the Ellen map, it was kind of a depth battle because Taiwan had 2 players that could match US's 3. And in this case, it also appears to be kind of the same. Although P Dog for me is not that far back.
I mean, it is switching back to the Taiwan team. The US's act is dropping really fast.
There were a couple of 200s right now, which means that it is going to shift back. Tuza is doing really, really well, having a 99.91. So this might just be a breakpoint for Taiwan. As we get into these gimmicks, this is where the rubber hits the road. And Clarion's
gonna miss.
That is going to bring the lead to Taiwan.
That is gonna give it back to Taiwan. That is exactly what they needed. Not only did the United States collapse on their accuracy, but the consistency is falling too. Oh my god! As I say that!
That
We
was
see
a
a
4-man collapse. Oh my
That
god.
was a 2-person collapse from Taiwan. That
Yeah,
was
so-
very unfortunate.
Wow. So it happened that Clarion was the person who missed twice. So his combo, like he was the one who took the blunt of it, which means that like the US lost less points from the misses than the Taiwanese.
That is true, but it's very unfortunate because the Taiwanese got 5 misses in a few seconds span. What a turn of events.
Yeah, that was a bit of a wild ride from start to finish.
So right now, what should Taiwan go for?
Taiwan
they
is
go
going for
for-
time goes by. My map.
Oh, here we go with the map ads, I think. Oh wait, I just realized that you have 2 maps in this pool.
I do have 2 maps in this pool.
I thought you only had I Am Made, and then I see that you also made Time Goes By.
Yes.
But here we go, Time Goes By. I think this can be good for Taiwan because this is one of the, is this one of the easier maps in the Rice section of this
Yeah,
pool?
I would say like the ones that are by me are probably the most straightforward. I think Absolute Zero is also that way, but it's just longer. Silpink and Lexus are kind of on the technical side.
I see now. Well, I guess that makes sense for Taiwan because if you're the Taiwanese team, you would avoid something that will be physically demanding, at least for your standards here in comparison to the United States, because they will definitely crush anything physical.
Yeah, and I mean like, yeah, this I can see Taiwan still putting up some good scores against the US. Like they can still do well, and they might win, but I would say overall has USA has the advantage.
I can see Taiwan taking this point, honestly. And I believe we're just waiting for the players to get ready. So we'll be seeing Full Combro, Stay High Kids, and Retina on the United States side. And for Taiwan, we'll see Nobu 150, Nano, and Tuzi. Very interesting lineups. I wasn't expecting Combro to play this.
Yeah, and so Retina is kind of an accuracy player, and I guess like Folk Convo is also staying in for maybe the same reason. We saw Stay High Kids had really good accuracy, and so wow. And the Taiwanese side, we do have Noble 150. I don't think we've seen them yet. Definitely seen Toots and Nano. So okay. Let's just see how this goes.
Well, we're just waiting for the client to get ready and start.
Yeah.
Here we go now. Time goes by.
Yeah, so the real content comes after this drop, and then you'll have some light Jack Tech stuff.
That is true. Honestly, the story for this match so far has been Taiwan has been taking some leads from the United States, but they eventually collapse really fast, which leads to the United States taking those picks, which Taiwan could have won. Let's see if that will be the case again. But
There's
Redna's gonna drop.
That's gonna tie things up. So Redna
What?
is gonna be even with NATO for now, and he's gonna have to recover because he isn't scoring full points as long as his comp was below 400.
That is true, but again, remember, like what I said, after an opportunity given by the United States, Taiwan might just end up collapsing here. Although I believe this is the map that they can hold it through.
Yeah, if anything, like they're holding pretty steady, but as to
But
say that, no 150 finds a miss.
that's what I've been saying. A single drop from the US is not gonna determine it. As long as Taiwan doesn't capitalize on those opportunities, the drops from the United States is not gonna matter at all.
Yeah, and you just have to wait and see if there are any more misses from either side. If not, then US probably has the point. But there's a miss from Redna! What's going on? Is there enough time? Misses! That is Taiwan's point! Let's go!
Let's just wait. And Taiwan's gonna take it! They take this point!
That was
Wow!
a collapse and a half from the US team at the very end.
What a turn of events at that last point. I remember when Nobu dropped. That was a heartbreaker, but the US dropped twice, or actually three times. That is very unfortunate.
Yeah, the US they just completely at the end.
You know, this could have been 3-0 in Taiwan's favor if they did not choke too much.
Yeah. So I guess like both teams are pretty nervous right now. I think that's like one thing to take away. USA's accuracy is definitely better than Taiwan. So even though Taiwan did win that, like the US did have significantly better accuracy.
That is true, but the morale booster that Taiwan has right now must be a lot. Taking a points off the United States is no easy feat at all.
Yeah, and it looks like USA might want to go for some calmer waters, and I think they might just go for IMA, which doesn't seem to be like pretty straightforward. And you could also go with negative 273.15 if they're really up for it. I mean, Brenna can probably act jump string pretty well. So it's a bit unclear.
Well, the US has to pick yet. We haven't seen anything that the US has chosen, but I'm expecting something like what you said. I guess I am made, but should they try and go for Lexus?
Given their performance on Time Goes By, I don't think Lexus would be a good pick. I mean, I guess like it's another coin toss. Like it's kind of 50-50. Maybe the US might win it. Maybe Taiwan might win it. But what Time Goes By just showed was that nerves kind of play a bigger factor than anything, and it was nerves from the USA that decided that.
That is true, and I think Turbo is a pick that the US definitely does not want to go for. Like, we saw Taiwan almost taking Metastasis. It was just the unfortunate collapse that happened.
Okay, USA is going for native 273.15.
Negative 273.15. So we will be seeing two Rice picks back to back. I'm not sure what to say about this pick, but it could potentially be another coin toss.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is more of a consistent map. I guess there are some points that are choke bait, so it might just be, yeah.
Are we going to be seeing the same lineup for both teams? I think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, so the United States might have gotten necessary discrepancy if they ran out of time, and yeah, just, okay, whatever. USA is going for native 273.15. That is the map of all time.
Oh, so sorry. Apology accepted. Anyways, I believe this will be the lineup for both teams. It seems like no changes are going to happen whatsoever.
Yeah, okay, what to say about this? Like, USA will probably have the better accuracy. Like, Folk Umbro's good, Stay High Kids is good, Retina's good. Taiwan might just edge out the US on nerves because we did see, yeah, so USA nerves, Taiwan combo, whatever.
Oh, I just realized that 2Z is out for this pick. That is surprising. So they will be having Black T12 instead of 2Z. I'm not sure if that's going to pan out very well because 2Z is one of the best act players in this tournament.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Tuesday just kind of felt tired. Who knows? But USA opening up pretty well, and I bet their consistency. I bet their consistency will show as the song goes on because they're a really consistent team, and this is kind of something that's right up their forte.
Consistent is the right word indeed. We see an almost 99.9 for the full United States team. But it's not over. This is still the first fourth of the match. So anything can still happen. A single miss will switch it back to Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean the USA is just you know um we're about a fourth of the way through the map, now a third, and USA just seems like it's going on autopilot. Meanwhile, Taiwan is a couple of percentage points back, so that doesn't seem to be looking good for Taiwan unless the US misses. You know, it might
That
just
is
come down to
true.
nerves.
I mean, to be fair, Taiwan is doing really good. There is still a striking range. So a single mistake from the United States is going to swing it back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if misses happen, they'll happen, but USA looks really consistent. Like, who knows? Taiwan is also looking consistent on this one, but their accuracies are lower, I guess. So, yeah, it's more the same.
I think we're going
Anybody
to
who
be.
misses, we'll see.
I think we will be seeing a six-way FC for this map. Very comfortable six-way FC. Just to add to that.
Yeah, let's just well, depends on who you're rooting for. If you're rooting for Taiwan, then you definitely don't want to see a six-way FC.
Yeah, that's true. I am. I mean, it's the easier part of the map, so I don't think anyone is gonna miss at this point.
Oh no, this is where the map kind of picks up.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't notice that, but
Oh,
yeah, six-way
actually, it's kind
FC.
of the same, but okay, that's a six-way FC. So that's a really solid point in USA's favor. As you can see, the accuracies, full combo, stay high kids, retina, they are all within 2,000 points of each other. Meanwhile, Noble 150 has the best accuracy. It's comparable to full combo, but NATO and Black T12 are a little bit behind.
13k lead, very comfortable win. And not to mention, the best ratio in Taiwan is worse than the worst ratio in the United States. So that's definitely going to contribute a lot to the United States lead.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Taiwan is only one breakpoint down, so Taiwan needs to only win one of USA's points, given that they win everything else. So it's Taiwan's pick anyways, so they might go for Del Rio or they might go for Honey Bunny. Those are the two picks that I might see what they go for. They could go for Lexus Cyanixis, but that might just be a little too RNG.
Honestly, Honey Bunny kind of makes sense too. Like you saw Masquerade, right? They would have won that if Taiwan's misses didn't happen.
Well, okay, they are going with Crossing Delta, so this is going to be one of the hybrids.
So I believe we'll be seeing some substitutions. Joylin TP in Taiwan, P Dog Forney in Taiwan. Makes sense. I'm not sure if Redida's gonna play this. I think Clarion could potentially replace. Or it could be Seth.
Yeah, so yeah, this map is like a lot of it is act bait, but then you've got some weird releases that might trip you up. I don't know who's gonna come in from the US, but it's gonna be Seth.
Okay, we will be seeing Seth and Clarion in here. And stay high, kids. While Taiwan will have P Dog Forney, Joylin TP, and Tuzi.
So this looks like a pretty solid lineup for both teams for hybrid. So let's see how they go. This is a 3.5 minute map, so a lot can happen. That being said, it's on the consistent side, like absolute zero. So, but still, a lot can happen.
That is true. A lot indeed can happen. I honestly think, in terms of accuracy, Taiwan can probably snatch this from the United States, but I could be wrong.
I don't know about Taiwan being able to snatch it. USA misses, then yeah, Taiwan can get the point. But accuracy wise, USA is shown just better.
Well, we're just waiting for them to start.
Yeah. I saying, I say that when I'm saying let's go. Okay, so Taiwan is gonna be going. They're gonna be trying to hedge their bets on these releases hybrid. This is a coordination-based hybrid. We'll see how they do momentarily. However.
That's true. Taiwan is still in the game. I think you and I know that. But if the United States wins this pick, the Taiwanese team will have to pull off a very rare 4-1 comeback.
Yeah, so like Taiwan, they're only down a break point, so the game is still salvageable for them. That being said, the US does have the advantage being 3-0, but a lot can happen. Tournament nerves.
Tournament nerves really affect the whole situation, but we'll be seeing them now.
Yeah, and I'm going to be expecting some very, very solid accuracy scores, not just from the USA, but also from likes of Toots and Jordan TP. And probably also P Dog for me. I think everybody here has good accuracy. think it will just come down to these hold releases if the USA can act it suitably compared to Taiwan.
So right off the bat, we will be seeing. Wow, it's virtually the same accuracy right now.
Yeah, and there's like no gap right now, but just be on the lookout for any 200 because that's what you need to look out for. In fact, Clarion has been going down in accuracy. So,
2Z also went from 99.8 to 99.6, but again, Stay High Kids has been keeping that accuracy really high for the United States, being the anchor that they need. But Taiwan has P-Dog and Joylin, who's been holding 99.7s, and 2Z is just climbing much more.
yeah, and so Clarion is a little bit behind, so that is going to give Taiwan a small but statistically significant advantage.
Statistically significant is the right term. Though I do see Clarion dropping a little bit more, and now
Clarion
has dropped
dropping
to
some more $200 slots, so the A is going to give Taiwan a couple more 1,000 points.
Yeah, we're at the halfway mark right now. Taiwan eclipsing the 99.7 for the most part. Meanwhile, United States, while Stay High Kids' act has been really good, Clarion's been pulling the team a little bit behind.
It looks like the overall trend seems to be the U.S. does tend to gain a little bit of its thing back during the right sections, but these LN sections, it's just Taiwan taking advantage because they have more depth. Like instead of 3 versus 2, this is going to be a 2 versus 3 situation where it's Clarion who is being dropped into the 200, giving Taiwan the advantage.
Taiwan has been very balanced right now. 99.7 at least for all the players. Meanwhile, United States side, Steph has dropped to the 99.6 range. Stay High Kids still at the 99.8, but that's not going to be enough in a team tournament.
Yeah, as you can see, this is kind of an allegory for the income inequalities of the respective countries. As you can see, the U.S. has a lot more inequalities.
Oh, I see a 100 for P-Dog. Is that going to be enough though?
Okay, yeah, so whatever. Going back to what, yeah, so P-Dog did drop 100, as Emily said. Oh, there's a miss from Seth.
That should seal
Okay,
it for
okay.
the. That should probably seal it for the Taiwanese team until we see, unless we see a very bad drop. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
There's like nothing left. Yeah, USA, Taiwan is gonna win their own point, so that leaves USA 1 point ahead, and that's a break point. So
Just like that, the Taiwanese team is back into the game even more. 10,000 points. That is a big lead if you think about it.
yeah, Stay High Kids having really good accuracy. Tutsi having really good accuracy, except that 200 count was a bit high. So yeah, as you can see, like someone like Tutsi has very good ratio, but might not be so good on the LNs versus someone like Stay High Kids who's good on both the LNs and the Rise.
Clarion's 200 count, I believe, was the reason why the Taiwanese team was able to pull this ahead. Even if Seth full combo this, I don't think it would have been enough. That would have only contributed around 5 to 7,000 points.
Yeah, I do think Seth Smith did put the nail in the coffin, but yeah, again, it was the week was a little bit. Yeah, it was Clarence 200 count that also. Yeah, so I think Taiwan just overall had the advantage there.
That is true. So we will have the United States picking this. I am not sure what they should go for. I don't think they should go for Del Rio.
Yeah, they should definitely not go for Del Rio. They should not go for Honey Bunny. They might go for Turbo, and they'll probably go for IMA because that's straightforward. It's most similar to Absolute Zero.
Honestly, I don't like Turbo as a pick, but oh, they picked Turbo. The reason why I don't like Turbo as a pick was because the United States almost lost Metastasis, but again, remember, it was just that team collapse from Taiwan that gave them the win.
Yeah, so Yeah, so yeah, this map, unlike Metastasis, has it's more reading oriented, but it has this kind of slow jam at the end that might throw some players from USA. We've, as you said, like there is like a little bit of leeway for Taiwan to maybe try to get a point from there.
So we will be seeing full combo back into the game. I believe Taiwan is gonna have Nano again. Okay, never
No,
mind.
they're
Black Tea.
having Black T12 and Bunny and Dog.
So this is gonna be the team for both countries. Pidog, Black Tea, 2Z for Taiwan, and for the United States, Clarion, Retina, and Full Combro. We will be starting. I believe this is gonna be another tug of war for both teams.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this will turn out. Yeah, a lot of different ways that this match could go in this specific round.
And what is going on to P-Dog's client?
P
Oh,
Dog's client is not very P-Og.
okay. I guess you could backtrack now because it actually loaded.
One of the rare moments that Banjo actually does well. Wow. Okay, so Taiwan has a little bit of an advantage.
Could you even call this an advantage?
Oh,
Oh
Black
my
Tea
god,
12
as I
apparently
say
missed.
that,
That's not good.
that's a disastrous drop for Black Tea. Combro
I,
holding 99.97.
yeah,
Of
and
course.
there aren't enough notes in this map, so Black Tea might not even reach 400 combo. That is really unfortunate for Taiwan. This was an important point for them. However, that being said, P Dog is a little bit behind in accuracy, so maybe it wouldn't have mattered even without the miss.
That is unfortunately the case for Taiwan. Combro holding a 99.94, which is easily going to cancel 2Z's accuracy. But remember, you saw the Philippines match. They lost it on the last few seconds. I wonder if a similar case can happen here.
Yeah, but like keep in mind if they do miss in the last few seconds, they also won't be losing points from bonus scoring. And in fact, it's a Black T12 that's going to be taking some misses. Or not, there's some 200s.
Wow, this is one of the bigger differences that we saw in this match.
It looks like Tudes, in fact, did pull ahead of Full Combo at the end.
Yeah, the consistency matters so much more than how you start a map. So this is, I believe, Taiwan's final pick.
Yeah, either way, if they win or lose this, this is going to be their final pick. And they're like really good opportunities for Taiwan to get another point, given how we saw Crossing Delta go to Taiwan. They are going to go for Del Rio.
Del Rio, this is going to be a very difficult pick for both teams. The nerves are gonna kick in. I'm not really sure if Taiwan's advantage in crossing Delta is going to put into place here. But we will have no more SV picks. There's two more Rice and one LNs. So if Taiwan wins this, could it be a chance for them to come back into the game or not really?
It's a bit hard to say. So I don't really know.
We will be seeing Imperial Trinity So I believe Joylin is gonna play for Taiwan.
I like P-Dog for me. I like Joylin, like Nano. Maybe Tutu could come in because the releases there aren't releases here. It's for coordination and reading and crossing Delta. So maybe Tutu could come in and that might be better, but I might just be speculating.
Okay, so we'll have Seth, Imperial Trinity, and Sai Kids. That's what I expected from the United States. Though I thought Tuzi would be able to play this, but yes, this is the Ellen. Is this the Ellen based hybrid or the Rice based hybrid?
Uh, they test different things. I wouldn't really call one the Rice hybrid or the other one the LN hybrid, but yeah. So I'll say the LNs are definitely more constant in Del Rio, but in Crossing Delta, you have a little more coordination stuff. You also have coordination here for sure, but the LNs are a little more simplistic in patterning, if not density.
Well, I guess we will just find out if the challenges that you mentioned will help Taiwan.
Yeah, and I would say that the odds are probably in Taiwan's favor. Just how we saw the USA lose to Taiwan on Crossing Delta.
I mean, one map is not going to determine the whole story for a skill set, so we honestly can't tell.
Yeah. So this hybrid is pretty different from Crossing Delta. But usually we've seen that Crossing Delta usually gets won by the Rice accuracy players. And in this case, it was Taiwan that won it because, well, okay, so Clarion isn't in for the United States. I think that's kind of important because we did see Clarion drop 200 on those LNs. And I'm wondering if the switch up could mean that won't happen anymore.
I mean, I guess that's why they had to sub out Clarion for this pick, but what is going on with the client? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, okay. Was that a
Okay,
miss from P-Dog?
is that an actual drop? No, it's not. It's not. It's client.
Okay, good. It might just be a situation where USA is 3 deep, but there's a miss from Steph.
Is this client or no? I don't think it's client.
Yeah, I think that was a bona fide miss. So that is going to put the lead in Taiwan's shoes for now.
That's true, but this is just the start of the map, so not really much to say, but that could benefit Taiwan in the long run.
Yeah, and okay, so Seth has worked his way up back to 400 combos, so no issues in losing any more points. Right now, accuracies do seem to be a little bit in the United States' favor, and it's going to primarily be Day High Kids.
Day High Kids this whole match has been a tank and an anchor that has been pulling United States really hard on some of the maps, while Taiwan has been really trying to balance it out. So P-Dog's AC is slowly going lower, but I didn't notice that Imperial Trinity's AC is also going lower.
There's a miss from Joylin GP! Oh no!
Okay, but it doesn't look like it's gonna affect much because I feel like the AC advantage is on the United States, but very so slightly.
Yeah, it's like, as you said, Imperial Trinity does have a little bit of an accuracy drop.
If Imperial Trinity drops even more, this might just go back to Taiwan.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait until the solo to see if anyone chokes. And the United States did have some nerves back in time goes by, so that could be a bit of a worry for the United States.
Okay, but Nino is gonna drop. Nino, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think I think the accuracy advantage will still go to Taiwan, so it's still not that huge. But this is the last part of the map. I don't know if anything's gonna
Here's
happen.
the solo. We're going to be seeing more of the solo, and this might be choke bait for the United States. The United States has to not miss, and neither does Taiwan. Taiwan has to just hope that the USA misses.
That is very unfortunate because Imperial Trinity's accuracy has fallen so hard. I don't think there's any chance for Taiwan to come back.
Yeah, there's a very unfortunate drop from NATO at the near the end, and I think sad to say this might just be Taiwan's undoing the winners bracket.
That's very unfortunate because even with those misses, it's only an 8,000 point lead. So this could have easily gone to Taiwan, but unfortunate, no one could have held a full combo. But good game well played to both teams regardless.
Yeah, it definitely looks like United States did have the inferior accuracy there. Definitely an LN, a thing that LN players would do well on, but the United States still did win because of combo.
Gotta say, like, even if Taiwan lost this, they should be proud of themselves. Taking 2 points and almost a third and a fourth point against the United States? That is no joke at all. And of course, the United States, you gotta be proud of themselves too for winning this match and advancing further into the winners bracket.
Yeah, the United States will be moving on to winners quarterfinals, which they will be playing against Brazil. Brazil's a pretty good LN team, so the United States might have to be a little bit careful there. On the other hand, we're going to have Taiwan going into the losers quarters.
Can we see who Taiwan's facing first? Oh, they'll be facing the winner of Singapore and Denmark. I don't think that's a matchup that anyone wants to have. Taiwan versus any of the two teams, Singapore versus Denmark.
Yeah, I mean, so it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Let's just say that. Maybe Taiwan might cap off at quarterfinals. They might not. It's really hard to say.
That's true. But I guess to end it all, again, just that was an amazing performance from two teams. Both teams did absolutely well. Good game, well played. I do hope that all of your next matches will go well.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later, so take care of yourselves.